Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Market Peak with Seth and Matt. We give you a peek of the market. I myself provide a more focused view, also interested in ESG, where Matt has a more broad view of the market and where they're headed, stocks, bonds, crypto, news, current trends, all part of the stuff we're going to be covering. And Matt's going to give you a little 3 charts that we're going to be doing at the end of every show. 3 charts that are really being impacted and, that are really big in the news. We are not financial advisors. Get that out of the way every show. Got to do it. Some interesting little topics that happened this week. Jeff Bezos is stepping down. So was that a shock to you, by the way? I mean, it was a shock to everybody, right?
The question is, why did he do it?
I mean, don't you think he would much rather just enjoy his 180-some billion-dollar fortune?
I think it's that $180 billion fortune that's kind of concerning him right now. He's coming under scrutiny along with the other big tech CEOs for his monopolistic.
They want to break him up.
Yeah. So I mean, stepping down as CEO of Amazon might actually be part of a broader strategy to help lighten the pressure.
Could be
on his business. Yeah,
I'll tell you. I mean, it worked. Actually, Elon Musk had to do it. So when he put that tweet out, but what's interesting is Amazon killed it. They're expecting like earnings of $7 a share, and they end up doing like 14. They crushed it, but the stock was just flat. So it's
probably because there were a lot of calls and puts.
That could be
short dated, a lot of expectation for a big trading range the next day for a wide swing one way or the other.
Sure.
And
didn't happen.
The smart money is going to get on the other side of that trade, and they're going to sell puts and they're going to sell calls. They're going to suppress the VIX, and they're going to suck the premium out of those options, and they're going to control that price and make sure it doesn't swing wildly, and reward the people that they sold the contracts to, mainly Robinhood retail investors.
Sure.
People are just trying to gamble.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, this whole GameStop thing, it's not just GameStop. It's a game that's played with all the stocks, especially the ones in the news. And Virgin Galactic, they have their test flight, the long-awaited test flight happening this week. Happening this Saturday, I'm pretty sure it is. So if that does well, the stock's going to do really well. And if it doesn't, obviously the stock's going to, as long as it doesn't explode. The last time they did it, I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, it was in December, and they just didn't fire the rockets. Something went, just didn't work. The stock dipped a little bit. So hopefully this week it does well, and hopefully it takes off. What do you think? I mean, I think it's going to do really well.
I think it'll be successful.
I hope so.
Go America. Fuck yeah.
The UK America thing going on.
Going to do that is send things into space.
And the thing is, I think this is the last one. So after this, they can, I think then Branson's going up himself, and they're going to open up the floodgates. So all right, well we're gonna jump into my portfolio. You can see it's up here. I'm up 800% for. I mean, you could say the year. I opened this Robin.
Really quickly.
Sure.
Sorry to interrupt you. Do you think the U.S. stimulus bill is in the future?
So I think the stimulus bill is going to really help the market if it goes through, which it will, because the senators, Democrats have the senators and the House. Kamala Harris can break a tie. So if they have to push it through, they will. They don't want to. Same thing with Obamacare. They didn't want to push it through. But if they have to, they will. And you're going to be talking $1,400 checks going out to a lot of people, and retroactively giving checks to people as well. Not to mention extra $600 for each kid. They're saying like a family of 4 could be getting like over $5,000. And I think a lot of that stimulus money is being invested. So I think it's going to be great. You, same?
Yeah, I think we are on the cusp possibly of a dramatic expansion of entitlements.
Sure.
And that will put money in the hands of working class people, who will then go and turn around and spend it in the local economy.
Yep.
Supporting and creating this cycle,
Sure.
positive feedback loop. And that's what we need right now, and that's the point of government stimulus.
I agree. Yeah,
you get a return on your investment.
I think There's no way that it doesn't help with everything. I mean, as soon as it gets passed, the market's going to completely jump. Cases are going down. This new variant thing, they're actually working on a vaccine for the new variant. I think, I don't know, one of them said it's going to be done by August, which is great. So, I think the stimulus is going to be really, really helpful. And I mean, do you agree that they'll push it through if they can't get Republican support? They'll just push it through anyway?
I think they will. I think they'll seize the moment. Democrats right now, particularly in the House on the progressive side, feel thwarted. They feel wronged by the previous administration,
Sure.
and I'm sure are lifted to action by a mandate. They're in it to win it.
Yeah.
They're on a warpath.
100%. I think
Democrats will do.
It would be great if they can find a way to make enough Republicans happy that they'll vote for it. $1,200 instead of $1,400, but Republicans are like, oh, let's give them $600. It's like, come on, guys.
Republicans want 1,000 versus 1,400 proposed by the Democrats.
Sure.
They want a dramatic reduction in state aid. Democrats, obviously blue states hit the hardest.
They did take out the $15 though.
Need to be bailed out. Yeah. And just Republicans just don't want to grow entitlements. What's going to be interesting is when Democrats come to the table with tax reform.
Sure.
What's going to happen there? What can they get away with? And will they be interested in actually at that point reforming entitlements and working cross aisle on something that'll help reduce the deficit as well?
I hope so.
I think that the possibility of that in the macro headlines moving forward over the next couple of years could be a big market steerer. And I think that's something that will come out of left field and surprise a lot of people.
Sure.
And if I can make a prediction, I do think it will happen eventually over the next few years.
I mean, they have at least 2 years to do just about anything they want, provided somebody doesn't pass away or anything like that, and then there's like a special election or something. But yeah, like the $1,500 minimum wage, they scrapped that. So it is a concession that I feel like the Democrats, but it's a good argument because they were saying that, there's a lot of businesses struggling right now already. And if you pass this, that's just going to put them underwater, which I can agree with. I think maybe waiting until the economy gets back to where it needs to be, or gets back to where it was, then we can push that forward. So it's nice to see that they're at least cooperating with that. In and of itself should be helping the market. The fact once, government cooperating is going to be a positive thing pretty much across the board. We'll see. All right. So yeah, real quick, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Up 800%. I started this back in February, and you can see if I go to all, it's pretty much the same thing. Realistically, I moved this account out of Robinhood into Fidelity because I want to be able to trade after hours realistically and have access to more stocks, including the one that we're going to be talking about very, very shortly. We have Watt here. Big on that one. Once again, they have radio charging technology. So as you can see, I got it. It says I got it at 363. I've been buying and selling them for quite some time. If I go back a year, all over the place. But still up about, almost 10% for the week on that one. TRXC medical device company that has recently exploded and up 9% on that one from where I got it. So I've been doing pretty well. I'm quite happy with it overall. And we'll see what happens. So, but here's the thing: Virgin Galactic. Once again, this is the one that looks like it's going to be doing really, really well.
The spice flow.
The thing is, if it does well, the stock is going to go up because then they're finally going to be able to start being profitable. But you can see right here, up 15% in the last week with that one, and you can see I bought it $40 and it's at 54 right now. So, and it's actually, down a little bit, but I feel like this coming week, it's really, really going to explode. So I think people are going to get on the bandwagon. That's what pretty much happens before these test flights. And that's pretty much it. So any thoughts before we move into our, into Blue Sphere?
I'm looking forward to that test flight.
I'm really okay. I'm pretty sure it's on a Saturday. It's on the 13th. It's on Saturday. So it makes it hard because it's like, if it does well, obviously it's great, but if it doesn't, you can't like sell it. So you got to get in. Luckily, I get up early on Mondays so I can, if I have to, I can dump it kind of early, provided the funds finally make it into Fidelity. We'll see. All right. So the main one we're talking about this week is Blue Sphere. And this is one that's been getting a little bit of traction recently. What's interesting about it is they are a renewable energy company. They deal mainly with biodegrading
digestibles.
Exactly. So you have your manure, even
I just love that term.
What is it? Biodigestibles?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I've heard that one actually. You'd think I would with all the research I've been doing, but I don't know if I've heard biodigestibles. So basically, yeah, biogas digesters is basically what they do is takes manure and waste, puts it in a slurry, bacteria eats it, releases methane, and then the byproduct of that is basically fertilizer that they put back into the soil. So it's zero waste. You get, methane. And all they've really done is they have invested and purchased including building a couple facilities. They've got 2 here in America, one at 5.2 megawatts, the other one at 3.2. They have 5 in Italy. What's that?
One in North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina, and there's one in Rhode Island. And what they all do is they take the gas, they burn it and create electricity, which is a major, major loss of energy. 50%, 60% of the energy is lost. And then, of course, they have the leftovers. They can sell the soil. So, ways to make profit both ways. One of the reasons, here are the reasons why I like the stock. One, renewable energy. Joe Biden is in the White House. He loves renewable energy. Really positive thing. Another reason is they have this new facility opening up in the Netherlands. It's supposed to open up this quarter. So the last one that they actually acquired was in 2017. They haven't done a whole lot, but they've been building this one for a while. It's supposed to put out 10 megawatts, so that's about double of any of the other ones they have. But this one's actually going gas straight to the grid. They're not burning the gas, which allows them to obviously make more of a profit because, they're putting the gas in instead of turning into electricity. And they're going to be doing the soil amendment as well. And I just think with everything that's been going on, it's gotten a little bit of traction recently. Let me show you. That's the one we're going to be talking. There we go. So, and you can see the stock here. So it's 1.8 cents. If I go back 5 days, not that long ago, it had actually had a really big jump up to 2.3 cents, but it's basically been hovering kind of low. If I go back to a year, all right, here we go. If I go back to the year, super, super low, almost non-existent. People actually bought it when it was 1/100 of a cent. And it's actually done really, really well. But it's starting to gain some traction. I think people are starting to become interested in it. They have this new facility opening up. In addition to the fact that renewable energy is on the horizon, I think, putting all those together is a really good opportunity. Super long shot. I'm going to put in $1,000 as soon as everything hits Fidelity. One of the reasons I'm switching over is I can buy this one there. This one is not available on Robinhood. But I don't know. I'm just kind of excited about it. See where it goes. So what are your thoughts?
Fascinating concept. One that's obviously been in existence for a minute. Yet not until recently have you seen so much attention focused on renewables and alternative energy solutions.
In this country. The rest of the world's been all over it.
Sure. A lot of retail investors right now, a lot of the Robinhooders are interested in investing in the future in renewable energy, in a more climate-friendly kind of business environment.
Sure.
So you have a lot of interest in the space in general. So that means you have the chance of institutional money flowing into ETFs that some of your stocks, which, before the wave might have been less well known, you have the potential now for some of those to be bought up by bigger investors just because of so much interest in space.
Sure.
Your stock is anything to do with solar energy, with batteries, fuel cell technology. Now, nuclear power, look at what uranium has been doing. If uranium keeps climbing higher, you'll have more uranium miners coming online. higher production, which is always a prelude to that power source, in
Sure,
this case,
sure.
nuclear, expanding. But nuclear, the uranium thing is a different discussion.
Altogether. That's true. I don't know.
But yeah,
Getting some traction. Renewable energy is starting to become
is the way to go.
big in this country. They're headquartered in North Carolina. They've been around since 2007, so they're headquartered here. Chances are they're going to have a lot more opportunity here in America they haven't had because, let's face it, Trump's been in the White House. So Biden coming in, I just feel like there's a lot of opportunity here in America where they're headquartered. Most of their stuff is overseas, but now they have a really unique opportunity. So we'll see. Like I said, I'll put like $1,000 to $1,000 into it, see what happens.
And look, you're either going to catch interest from institutional investors based on it being a stock in that clean energy category, which is hot. It's like
hot right now.
No can lose category.
Yeah.
Or it's going to catch general interest from retail investors seeking yield in these small cap companies that haven't had the best track record over the past 5 years, but may now become swept up in this we're going to buy everything kind of way.
Sure.
They're among that group of stocks that have yet to in some cases rally, or in some cases reach new all-time highs. If you look at most clean energy ESG stocks right now in the space, ones with a larger market cap, say close to $1 billion, most of those stocks have seen significant rallies. But there is a select group of stocks, people like Blue Sphere, like Watt, that have yet to really see new all-time highs, or that really big growth spurt.
Sure.
Brought on either by that, retail investor frenzy or institutional interest.
Or being bought out, which could easily happen.
Yeah.
That's
what
for
if
sure.
Apple were to buy Watt?
Wow. I have a really close friend who thinks Apple's kind of a part of this, because jumping on Watt real fast here, let me pull it up. So jumping on Watt, wireless radio frequency technology for charging. And
right there.
They used to be a part. Let me go 5 years on this. So Apple used to be part of it. They used to be in with them, and they kind of slinked back. And I have a really close friend who does a lot of research just on this stock and that partnership. And he really thinks that Apple is just kind of waiting in the sidelines, because until there's approval in China and all this, Apple, there's no point. And here's the thing. Yeah. Apple doesn't want, this is all his theory. Apple doesn't want people to know they're connected. They broke it off because Apple doesn't want people to jump on the technology before they get a chance to capitalize on it and really make it huge. So it's just, it's $3.79. You can see it was up to like 24. I bought it when it was like 80 cents, sold it, bought back in. It's on the rise again. So it's just one of those things where, once again, it's a big my freaking ads. I might have to just pay for it.
For yield, I think, you can't go wrong by allocating something into one.
I mean, just if you have the patience, I just, I have some $3,000 worth, $4,000 worth. I'm just going to sit on it. I feel like, that's a lot of what I'm going to be doing, just finding ones, because I've been doing a lot of wheeling and dealing. But I figure if I'm honestly pushing these stocks and loving these stocks, the least I can do is hold on to some, for all the viewers out there. I feel like it's only fair. So instead of selling it.
If you believe in your thesis, if you're convicted in, the potential success of the company, then
But if I see it go up and I can make a little bit of money knowing it's probably going to drop, it's hard not to just sell it and then buy the dip at the same time. But we'll see.
Buy calls. You can't lose.
That's true. I guess that's true.
Buy calls on it if you can. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. I guess that's true. Yeah, man. So, all right. So I guess we can jump into 3 charts with Matt. So, and chart number 1, which I feel like we're always going to be talking about, is the VIX, because let's face it, this is the sentiment. And when I'll go back a month. So when we spoke last week, we were right about here. And you said that the chart, everything was going to drop. And this was the whole GameStop thing. And you said it was going to drop. And sure enough, it has done nothing but go straight down. since we last talked about this, and since we talked about it last week. So what do you think is keeping everything down?
I think you have a lot of hedge funds right now short the VIX, along with the dollar and bonds, which, there's three right there share an inverse correlation, generally speaking, with equities. So if you short those, you can actually influence the direction of the trend in equities.
Sure.
In this case, you're forcing stocks to go up. Because if you're not going to get your yield and say volatility bonds, or the dollar commodities, you're going to go to stocks. You're going to get 10% rather than like 2%, or rather than like nothing in the U.S. Treasury.
Yep.
U.S. Treasury 10-year rates right now are backing off, aggressively.
Yeah.
And that's another good topic of discussion for another day.
Sure.
Come back in a couple of weeks, see where the 10-year is, see if it starts knocking on the door of that 120 level. So yeah, but the VIX, I think might see a little bounce, maybe early next week, because we have kind of been basing out support at 20 level, 2021 area, over the past few months. If we do get a bounce, that'll probably get some bears into the market, get some fear, in some of these, overgrown sectors, which is bullish for a liquidity-driven stock market rally.
Sure.
So you could argue that we're due for a correction. A lot of people calling for market crash, but when you have the Federal Reserve providing ample liquidity,
free money, essentially.
Yeah. This narrative in the mainstream media that things are going well, that the vaccines are going to work, that everything's going to be business as usual in the next couple of months. It's hard to have a negative view of this market. That being said, if we do see the VIX collapse down to that 17 level over the next couple of weeks, heading into options expiration, which I believe is February 19th. I do think there's a potential for some volatility in like an actual, reaction in the VIX. And if we do get one, I think you could see a quick, like 10% pullback market, that nature, and some repositioning. But we'll keep an eye on the VIX, see if it holds this 2021 level. See if we get a bounce. Again, if we collapse, if the market, say, forms a peak, going into options expiration, going into February 19th, you might want to take a look at some long positioning in the VIX.
Sure. It's as low as it's been in the past 6 months. So you're right about that. I mean, it could either break the trend for the last 6 months, or it can go up just like what you said. I feel like it'll probably go up. So hopefully, hopefully keep going. All right. So GameStop. Surprise. I got the 6 month out.
That double top.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let me go into the 1 month on this one.
Yeah, go into the 1 month.
All right, here we go. So man. Believe it or not, it was up. I'll go to the 1 day. It was last week. Believe it or not, though, or actually, here we go. So it was one of those things where it actually, believe it or not, jumped up more recently. I think it was like 20% or something like that. What was it? 39, almost 40% on Friday. So it got a little bit of a rebound push. But what do you think's going on here? Think it's going to go back up?
I mean, I'd still argue that GME is a volatility trade.
Of course.
That, yes, for the speculative investor, there's still opportunity for profit. Just be careful. The short squeeze may be over, but something tells me there'll be some hedge funds out there still taking interest, still looking to squeeze some extra yield out of that trade. And again, most importantly, at the end of the day, it's just a gleaming example of how certain strategies can backfire, even for institutional investors. Although I think in the coming months you'll start to see some stories come out about how hedge funds were actually involved in the original short squeeze,
Sure.
and that we can't just totally credit this group of Reddit investors for influencing the
Plenty of
trade
hedge
of
funds made
albeit a
money on the
smaller
way up,
stock.
for sure.
Yeah, 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 exactly. They have the cards are in their hands, so to speak.
Pretty
So
much.
yeah, let's keep an eye on GME, see if it squeezes higher,
So what do you
and
think?
see if speculation continues. If I'm right and the market heads higher, again after maybe a slight pullback Monday, Tuesday, something like that, the market heads higher. Um, I think this short squeezing frenzy continues for at least another couple
The
weeks.
Robinhood, from what I hear, the Robinhood restrictions are completely off. So a lot of people think that everyone's just going to jump back in again, which if they did it once before, there's no reason they can't do it again. The question is, would you be afraid that Robinhood, as well as these other platforms, will put the squeeze and keep them from buying it again, doing the exact same thing that happened last time? So it's a tough one. All right, last one, Dogecoin. Good Lord.
Dogecoin.
50, what is it?
Oh, so I
5.8
mean,
cents right now.
yeah, up 800% over the past month.
Yeah. Let me get the month
A lot
out.
of people out there had a nice 8-9 bagger.
Man, people made a ton of money off Dogecoin.
Yeah,
I had a shit ton of Dogecoin that I sold way back in the day, and when I turned everything into Bitcoin just to
little worth hundredth of a cent.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Wow. So I mentioned this to you before, unlimited supply, not unlimited, but let's face it, it's
There's a supply. There's
constantly
still a
releasing.
supply cap with Dogecoin.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Do you feel like it can
up
keep
there.
going up?
If you look at the chart, it looks like they're trying to find support. What did it bottom out after the surge at, like 21 or something, like 2 cents?
It was after
2 cents, I think.
let's see here. So down here, 3 cents,
21
like 2 point, let me go back a month to a month. But you're right. It was right around there. Let me see. 2.3, I guess, is how long it dipped. And then it just, up, down a little bit, up, down a little bit, up. So if it follows the trend, Monday it should go up a little bit, and then it should dip for a day, and then it should shoot back up again.
Yeah. It's liquid now. There's a lot of interest, a lot of speculative fervor driving investment decisions. Stock could go up a lot, could go down a lot. Which is
Crypto.
interesting, and this is why I picked it, is it's just emblematic of the unprecedented time we're in. You have stocks coming back 10x, 12x. You have institutional investors leveraged 20 times into short trades, into speculative gambles. You have a U.S. economy in recession, and the S&P 500 breaking into new all-time highs week after week.
Yeah.
So it just enjoy while it lasts. The trend is your friend until it's not.
Until it's not. That's right.
Until it's not, and just sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Fuck yeah. I'm with you, man. All right. So I guess any last minute thoughts? So we already kind of went through some of the predictions. I mean, the market, you feel like the market, the VIX is going to go up a little bit. So kind of means the market might go down.
Yeah, I think maybe early next week, Monday, maybe we'll have like a day of volatility, something like that. Suck some bears and get some people short.
Sure.
Because again, the bull market will always be driven by sellers.
Sure. Fair enough. All right. So I guess that's it. We are Market Peak, P-E-E-K. And we will see you guys in a few days. Appreciate it. Boom.